right now. You're watching MyTV 20 News at 10.
Calling it a settlement, not a bailout. Governor Rick Snyder and Republican leaders of the state legislature pledged $350 million to protect retiree pensions during Detroit's bankruptcy. MyTV 20's Rachel Martin is here with more on today's announcement. Rachel?
Melissa, the plan would allocate that $350 million over the next 20 years, which will be combined with funds raised by private foundations to help save pensions for retired city workers. Snyder made the announcement today in Lansing. He was joined by the majority leaders of both the State House and Senate. Snyder called it a plan that will mitigate cuts to pensions and keep the city on its path to revitalization.
This is not a bailout of paying the debts directly of the city of Detroit. This is not a bailout of dollars for Detroit's debts. This is not a bailout of banks and other creditors. This is focused in on helping reduce and mitigate the impact on retirees. It's focused on protecting assets. It's focused on showing good results and allowing the city to move forward by hopefully resolving this case in a more positive rather than a more negative way, faster and better.
So, Rachel, where's this money supposed to come from?
Well, the governor says it will most likely come from the 1998 tobacco settlement, which still pays about $250 million a year. And he says it's possible the state would issue bonds as well.
And what's the next step for the plan?
Well, it still has to go to the legislature, but the Republican leaders who were there with Snyder today say they believe they can find plenty of support.
Okay, we'll continue to follow this and see how it does. Thanks, Rachel. Meanwhile, the city of Detroit and retirees were back in court today discussing bankruptcy issues. The focus was medical benefits and the Detroit Institute of Arts. MyTV 20's Jorge Avian was at the federal courthouse and has the story.
If I were the city and was concerned about being in the good graces of the court, I would have paid attention to what the court said.
The bankruptcy drama continued at the federal courthouse in downtown Detroit. Today, a federal judge ordered city attorneys to continue negotiating medical benefits with lawyers who represent city retirees. The retirees could see big pension and medical benefit cuts as early as March 1st.
They're proposing, I think it's an approximate 87% reduction in retiree health insurance. Can you imagine what that means to people who have an income of $18,000 a year?
Today, a judge also denied creditors who Detroit owes money to form a committee that would reappraise the artwork of the Detroit Institute of Arts. The creditors wanted access to the art to help decide how much money and assets Detroit has that could be used to help settle debt. But with the announcement of the financial assistance plan Governor Rick Snyder made today to protect pensions and the DIA's artwork, the art may no longer be an option to get Detroit out of the red.
The question of ability to pay is an elastic concept. What you can pay depends upon the priorities that you have and your willingness to do things over and above the normal course of business. And in this kind of a situation, the city has to dig in and stretch and do what's necessary.
And as you can imagine, more details of the plan will soon be revealed, and we'll make sure we keep you updated on that. For your news that's straight to the point, I'm Jorge Avian, TV 20 News at 10.
A judge may rule on whether the city of Detroit can drastically cut the medical benefits of retirees next week.